Hey everybody, Mrs. Jones here. I've done a lot of videos that talk about little kids, your preschoolers, your 1 to 3s, and even 3 to 5s. But let's talk about our older kids because they're at home learning too. I wanted to talk really quick about B and D reversals. They're so common. So let's talk about what we can do to help our students and our children understand the difference between B and D when writing. First of all, reversals of those two letters and even P, Q, 9, G, J, S, those are so common up until about age 7. Then we want to look at what is actually going on. Now remember, I'm just an OT. This is just from experience, things I've read, things I've studied, and things that I've done with my students to help them every day with this exact problem. Make sure, number one, that they know the difference between B and D. They're common letters. They both start at the top when you're forming them. And so it's easy for them to automatically move in the opposite direction when they're making those letters. Give them visual models. Put a picture of a B on their desk with a D. Sometimes I even go so far as to write on the top of their paper while they're working this. A, B, C, D. They know how they go in the alphabet. Sometimes they just need that little reminder, and it's a nice quiet way for you to show them which one, and they can problem solve that out by themselves most of the time. Another thing you can do is teach them direction terms, left, right. This is true for all of handwriting. You want them to understand what under and below and above and top. They need to know all of those and what they mean in order to make their letters correctly. When I talk about making letters correctly, it sounds like I'm just being picky, but it really is a motor development skill. It's so important for our students to learn that our letters start at the top. We write from left to right the same way that we read. And so instead of just letting them draw willy-nilly and piece their letters together like Lego, make sure that they are stopping, taking the time, and that you are showing them how to make their letters from top to bottom, left to right. One way that I've seen reversals taught for the letter B specifically is a little blog that I came across a couple years ago as I started my OT practice in Tatla Elementary Schools. They talked about honeybees and that kids know that B starts with B. And so one way to do that was to make an H for honeybee. And then as you go down, you curve around and make that a B. And now you've got the letter B. So you would teach them to go down, come back up and over to make that H. You would teach them to go down, come up and over, make a honey bee. And that could help. One way that I would remind that student in the classroom so that I'm not there giving them those reminders is I might draw a picture of a bee or cut out a picture of a bee and put it on their desk, tape it to their desk with some packing tape. And that was kind of their reminder to look for honeybees when they're writing, to make those lines down for that H, come back up, and then make their B. B. We will not master all 26 letters at once. I remember when I was in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, when we were learning cursive writing, we didn't try to master the whole alphabet in one day, let alone 1 week. Take their trouble letters, pick one, and practice that one letter until it's mastered. If it's B, teach B. Teach B until they don't need to be taught it anymore. You'll see that in their work samples, their name, the things that they're writing for school right now. When they stop reversing B, move on to the next letter. Put the pencil down. Sometimes we want them to write so much. We want them to work on their writing so much. We forget there's a million other ways to do it. Get out the Play-Doh, roll it out into a snake, make your letters. Use flashcards. I have even done B and D Foursquare out on the playground with some students, where I would call out the letter that they had to bounce the ball to. You can do that in your driveway or on your sidewalk. You could do hopscotch with B's and D's and tell them, okay, this time only jump on the B's, and see how they do. Movement and learning are so integrated. They go hand in hand, and a lot of times kids need to put down the pencils. You can give them a tray of salt or a paper plate with sand on it, or flour or sugar or sprinkles or whatever you have in your house, and get them writing those letters inside those different types of materials. Use water beads, the little Orbeez. Those are so much fun. Chalk on the sidewalk. Again, tons and tons of feedback into their little sensory systems. All of this can help with learning. Don't panic. Like I said, it's normal for small kids to reverse letters. It's totally normal. You'll even see them sometimes reverse numbers. Just take your time, take a deep breath, and remember that you were little too. You guys can do this. It's gonna be okay. Reach out, let me know if you've tried anything that's worked for you and for your little one. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help. Guys, good luck, and hope this helps. Thanks.